Go. So welcome everyone to the colored pencil gingerbread cookie and cocoa drawing. That's what I kind of call it. We are using, oh, Jean's coming on. My name is Anita Thompson, for those, if there's anyone that doesn't know me. And this is sponsored by the Village Library of Wrightstown. So I want to thank the Village Library of Wrightstown for sponsoring this program. Hello, Jean. And we are just recording. I'm recopying the information in the chat. So we need 9 colored pencils, as you see. If you don't have mahogany, mahogany is like a reddish brown. I always get that question. So if you don't have mahogany, you could use like a maroon if you have it. And if you don't have that, you can just go darker with your red and add some brown to it. So you could do that too. The paper we're using, anything that will support a 6 by 6 inch square. And if you need to grab a ruler to make that 6 by 6 inch square, you can do that. You can also just use another piece of paper in order to, kind of make that square. It doesn't have to be perfectly 6 by 6 if that's what you're concerned about. It's just a square. So depending on how big or small you want to make it is up to you. So I'm going to remake my square here though with 6 by 6. And you know what? I'm also going to just adjust my camera one more time because I realize I'm not exactly where I want it to be. I want it to be a little more over on top of my paper here. Sorry for that. Okay. Oops. A little bit closer. Okay. All right. So do the 6 by 6. And I probably should make that darker so you can see it. Oops, what I forgot to do was do it lengthwise first because my paper is 7 by 10. So I need to be aware of that. There we go. Oh, Gumby is coming on. Oh, yes, close up. So if anyone would like to take a picture, you can do so. As I have a close-up on it. Thank you, Debbie, for that. Okay. Thank you. Welcome, Gumby. I just reposted in the chat the colored pencils. We are starting off with a 6 by 6 square. So I'm just making mine now. And I made it darker so you can see it online. Oops, that was not exactly following the ruler. There we go. Also, for those that are new, we record these sessions. I release them to Wrightstown Library first. I also put it on my YouTube channel in secret for about a month, but you will receive the link from Wrightstown, from the Library of Wrightstown. And then it will appear on my YouTube channel, even if you don't have the link. So, okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to also make sure that everybody is muted since we're recording. We're going to start with the drawing, obviously. I'm going to go in a little bit closer since this is a smaller one. And we are going to start off with our cup and saucer. And so we're using our pencil first. Let me give you a little more light there. Okay. So we're actually going to start So cup and saucer, but before that, we're going to also add the background. So just the kind of, I mean, it's not really a horizon line, but it's the line in the back. You want to do this lightly because we will be lightening up our pencil so that when we start to use the colored pencil, it won't be as dark. So that's our line going across, and then we're going to start adding in our cup here. And so this is the front part of the cup. Now, if you see, what I've done here is I've sort of made a shape almost like a smile, and that's because the top of the cup, we're only going to be able to see a little bit of it because our gingerbread person will be in it. It can be a gingerbread man, it can be a gingerbread girl, it can be a gingerbread whatever. It's really just a cookie. So you can make it however you like. And basically, you're going to make the saucer as well. So these are cylinders. And so the secret to having a cylinder look right, because of the angle, is that when you start to think of a circle, think of it as a squashed circle, like you sat on it. And so either side would be a little more pointy rather than so round. If you were looking at the saucer above it, it would look like, a round circle like the sun. But if you look at it from the side, it's kind of squashed. And so we see it, and either side looks more pointy rather than round. Same thing with this part of the cylinder. So again, it's kind of squashed like that. And we can then make our gingerbread person. I know we haven't done the rest of the cup yet, but that's okay. We're going to make our gingerbread person. And as you can see, I'm going to be erasing part of the mug, or I should say part of him that will be in front of the mug. You can also see that he's a little bit on his side. So on the right side here, we can see a little bit more to him. He's not just flat. He's kind of hanging out and chilling in his cup of cocoa. So you can still see the line of the teacup or the cup. So I'm going to erase it, but it helped with showing exactly where the cup would come in the back. And that's why I drew it that way, to show you. We also see a little bit more over here on the right side of his arm. I'm going to go in even closer because I can with how small this is. Let's see if I can kind of go right up against it. There we go. Okay, so, and then you're going to make his little eyes. Now, I always like to say here again, Marsha, he's in his he's in his hot tub. Oh gosh, that made me laugh. I did a little snort. I laughed so much. Oh, that's great. Oh. That's adorable. And then we've got his little smile
Yeah.
because he's happy he's in his hot tub.
I don't think he would be happy if he were a real little gingerbread man, if he was in a hot tub and people were having him for a holiday treat.
Exactly. Him or a snowman, right?
Yeah,
Melted.
right.
Oh, it's so funny. I know. I was just telling somebody, I think gingerbread people are so funny. I don't know why. I just find them so funny looking. And my aunt had these two little gingerbread, I don't know what you call them. They were like ceramic or something, like really small, like probably around this size. And she got them, I guess, from like a craft place. And the one was sort of running with his mouth like, oh no. And the other one was standing there with his eyes open. And then there were words at the bottom, like a little sign that said, take him first.
Oh,
I thought that was so funny. And I just always thought of that. So I don't know where she got it, but I just find them so funny. I'm just fixing his, for some reason, I did not make his head very round. There we go. It's a little better. Okay. So decorate him as you wish. I like to put little buttons on him. And again, making them look three-dimensional by adding a little side part. So I'm going to show this just up close in case you can't see that. So what I mean is like side here, here, and here. You can kind of see a little bit of him, turned a little bit. And then we've got his little fluffy marshmallows. And so here again, you're going to kind of sketch them in. And then you're going to erase what no longer belongs. Here's another marshmallow. So see, I'm going to erase. You can see the back of the cup there. We don't want that. That wouldn't show because our marshmallow is in front. And when you get the chance, when you finish that, you're going to start decorating the cup. And here again, if you want to choose something else for the cup as far as the design, you can do that. Now you can see with the striping, you're going to see that the striping is not straight down. And that's because the cup is curved. And so your stripes would curve, but they start to curve in another direction, in the other direction, going this way as it gets toward the right side. Oops, I made that stripe a little too big. So as you can see, the stripes on this side go this way. And then as we start to turn to the right side here, our stripes turn the other way. I'm going to make my cup just a little bit bigger. So I want one more stripe. We're also going to add the handle here. And again, this is kind of like a side cylinder. And it gets a little thicker in this part. And then we also have a part that, you know, showing the inside of the handle. Makes it look three-dimensional. And we have some marshmallows back here too. And we don't want to forget the background here. That line. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to move mine up a little bit. All right, I just realized I was going off screen here to the right. Hopefully everyone's doing good so far. I feel like this is sort of an easy-ish drawing. I know I always say that, but I feel like it is. And we just have some more marshmallows here.
She's taunting us.
Right. They're supposed to be easy for some people, maybe not for everyone. That's okay.
It's a good challenge, right?
Okay.
So again, lots of cylinders in this drawing. So we've got our marshmallows and
some steam coming up above.
yep, we're gonna do steam. So I like to do the steam in blue, but what you can do for now is kind of create sort of the shaping of your steam. So I'm going to make it darker, but obviously yours is going to be very light. And we've got some here. You know, he's in his chocolate hot tub, as Marcia's. Poor guy. He doesn't know what's coming. I think that's the best. Dunking, I don't know, I'm Italian, so I feel like I dunk everything. It's like if it can be dunked in a hot liquid, I do it. I don't know. Is that an Italian? I feel like it's an Italian thing. I don't know.
Biscotti, that's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's kind of how I started it. And then it was like, oh, cookies might taste good in cocoa. And so I think I would definitely dunk gingerbread. And you can make your cookie like however you want it. I just made like kind of like make it look like there's a little bit of a snowflake piping on the top here.
They're cookies? Is that what they are?
Yep.
Okay.
I know. Now that I'm looking at them, they look like wheels.
Well, they're little, so that's why I asked. They look like those little peppermint candies.
That would have been a good idea.
My cookies are much bigger than that.
They're thumbprint
I would
cookies.
call that like if I
Thumbprint.
broke off a little piece.
Joan, I'm right there with you. I like big cookies, so I don't know why I didn't make them bigger.
Aren't they thumbprint cookies?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you know, the Hershey Kiss ones, and then I know my grandmother used to make tiny ones with little snowflakes, but they were sugar cookies. They were like little tiny little sugar cookies, and she would call them yeah, what she would say, "Oh, these little snowdrop cookies," even though they didn't really look like snowdrops, but I know that's kind of what I call. But that is our drawing, and now we get to do the even funner part of, coloring it. So you want to make sure that everything is light because we are going to start in the background first. So I'm just going to lighten everything up here. You can take a look and see if there's anything you want to change as far as, drawing wise. I'm going to make sure my lines are a little straighter and a little less messy. Okay. But our first color is going to be our golden yellow, and that's going to be in the wall in the background. But so what I did to it to make it look like there was some light happening, I kind of used the colored pencil and I made strokes, if you can look and see, instead of really making it, completely shaded. So we're going to start at the top left corner. And so I do sort of do a little bit of shading, but let me go over it. I'm going to put the light on it even more so that you can see. And so I'm kind of touching it and also leaving white space. So again, I'm just going to kind of show this. You can see the white space in between so that it gives it a feeling of it is a wall, but there's some lightness to parts of it. The other thing you want to make sure you do is go around your steam. And I like to go light first as far as leaving the white of the paper, like more of the white of the paper at first, and then we'll go back, especially towards the bottom portion, and go even darker. With our yellow. And ring to go in between your steam. And then it starts to sort of fade out toward the right side of the picture here. Oops. Tonight is definitely a good night to be in. I'm amazed at how cold it is outside. I don't know why I'm amazed.
The whole winter is just too early.
I was going to say,
Like
so
my Christmas lights are not going out. This is like the first time in 40 years because it's freezing out there.
yeah, it really is. I actually worked from home today, which hasn't happened in a very long time. And I ran outside to my car around lunchtime and I was like, woo! And I thought, oh, I was going to take a walk. I Usually I bundle. I just didn't feel like bundling today. Maybe because it was Monday and it was cold. I don't know. So you're going to continue toward the right side of the picture, and it's going to get darker or more concentrated color around your gingerbread. So what I also do is actually go in the opposite direction, which is actually called, so we go this way first, sort of to the left, and then you can kind of change direction and cross over your lines, which is called cross hatching. And again, we get a little more concentrated. And so you can sort of also start to shade a little bit. As well. And again, remembering to go in between each of the, steam. And I like to sort of almost outline the steam with the background color, it being yellow right now. We're actually going to go back later and add just a little bit of brown, but not right now. Here again, go close to the gingerbread. Just add one more final sort of shaded part. And you're going to put your yellow down, and you're going to pick up your brown. Oh, that's mahogany. Whoops. Nope. Brown.
Yeah.
Brown. Yeah. I had picked up my mahogany. It looked a little brownish. So you're then going to outline the line against the background using your brown. And we're going to make this look like sort of like wood. And so what we're going to do, kind of like a wooden table. And so we're going to start making, I'm going to go really close. Kind of like cylinders. So you have to go around your marshmallows. You can do a little outlining of your saucer and your cookies using the brown for now. And you're going to continue making it look like wood grain. Gets a little lighter on the right side, so you can just go a little bit lighter. Again, making sure to go around any marshmallows you have and the cookies. And then you're going to very lightly shade on your wooden table First, you're just going to shade sort of the whole thing very lightly. You can leave some space, the white of the kind of the white of the paper at first, and then we'll go back and make some parts of the table a little bit darker. And so when you're ready, we're going to make some spots a little darker, kind of in the background here, right against the teacup. I keep saying teacup, the cocoa cup. Teacup, cocoa cup. Also underneath the marshmallows. And kind of in the background there, same side of the marshmallows and in back, just a little bit darker. Anything in the background would be a little bit darker. You know, that'll hold true too for the other side. And then making a little bit more shading, a little darker, right kind of in front where the cookies and the saucer is. And then again on the right side, behind where the marshmallows are, and sort of do a little bit of an outline of the mug. And I like to go back and just make it even a little bit darker toward the back. That would be a little bit darker than, you know, the rest here. And then maybe just a few random dark lines here at the bottom. And you can make some of the wood grain parts a little bit darker by just going over them a little more, just real quickly. And then you can put your brown down. And you're actually going to grab your yellow for your ginger person. Because we're going to do a combination of yellow and brown for that. So we're going to go really light with our yellow. All over the gingerbread. You know what I forgot? We have a little icing on his little, yeah. So you want to draw that little icing kind of on his arms there. See that?
Hmm.
Like his little sleeves. Thanks, Lisa. So we're going to continue with the yellow background on him. And we are going to add the yellow on the other side part of him where we're going to make it darker so that it, matches a bit. And when you're ready, you're going to grab brown. And we are going to outline him in brown. So very carefully outlining him along with, the sides that we're going to color in. You're going to outline the icing. And you're going to outline his buttons. And then we're going to color in or shade in the sides of him first. So it's going to be a little bit lighter at the top, so in brown. And then as it gets down towards his body, you press on the brown a little darker. So it's like a gradient. And you can see a little bit on the other side of his head too, but it's a little bit thinner as far as the shading. But you can see a little bit too on his arm. Right there. So see there, a little bit sliver there of and we're going to do it on the other arm. We're also going to do his buttons. Now, if you want to do them a different color, you can. I just made them brown and left a little bit of some white space on the left side of each one when I shaded. And then we're going to shade on his face in just a second, but we're going to put the brown down because I think it's a little easier to do his eyes and his mouth and his cheeks. So when you're ready, you're going to pick up your black. And you're going to outline his eyes. And his mouth. And here again, I like to kind of fill it in, but with his eyes, leave a little bit of sort of a white dot for reflection. Same with his mouth. I like to leave just a little bit of some white kind of on one side of the mouth. And we're going to pick up our brown again because we're going to go on top of our gingerbread man. And we're going to lightly color over the golden yellow all over. And then we'll come back and add a little more shading. But first, we're going to color over the yellow so that now it's a golden, kind of a golden brown. I'm going in really small circles as I'm shading. And when you're ready, we're going to make his cheeks using red and pink, kind of outline in red and add pink, but I kind of do like a half circle. And then I use a combination of pink. Ooh, my pink is, I don't think my pink's going to make it. Nope. I use pink first. And then I add a little bit of red to that to make it a little darker. Again, almost like shading. And we're going to add a little pink to him too, like just a little bit on the top of his head. And then real quickly the rest of his body, and we're going to add some brown after. So this is just to, to add in a little bit more color. And then we're going to pick up our brown again, and we're going to shade a little bit darker toward the bottom of his face, where his face is sort of connecting with his neck and body. But we're going to go around his face a little with some brown shading. Make him look a little more realistic. Not that he's real. I think they should make I just thought of this. What if they made a horror movie with like a gigantic gingerbread man that came to life?
You could be a friend of the marshmallow puff guy from Ghostbusters.
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I mean, you'd be scared to see this gigantic gingerbread man because they're cute, but I imagine if they were as big as us, they would look really scary.
Honey, cookie, baby. I'll have my agent call you.
Who was that?
That's Mike DeLaura.
That's funny.
He's so funny.
Well, I'm actually an East Coast guy. That's my best LA right there.
I love it.
Honey, baby, cookie, sugar. I'll have my agent call you.
That was spot on.
Remember when people used to say, I mean, I never said this, but maybe in movies, I guess they would say, like, I'll have my people call your people.
Right.
That's what you just reminded me of. I have my people call your people. Where did that come from?
Let's do lunch.
Let's do lunch. Yes. Let's do lunch.
We'll call you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're experienced. I know things.
So funny. So we're gonna do a little shading now with the brown. So like right where his arm is here at the top. Oops. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah. You see the picture.
Okay, good. Okay, good. I moved my screen and I went to my email somehow, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I get back? All right. So we're going to add a little shading here and then on the other side of his arm. So what we're doing is we're kind of shading underneath his head there and underneath his arms. Here on the left side, you can use that brown to just outline the top part of the mug just for now. Add a little more shading here where his little cookie arm is. So he just looks a little more realistic. But not horror movie realistic. Cute realistic. Okay. We're also going to grab our mahogany and we're going to add that to his buttons as well. Just a real quick kind of like lightly shaded on top of the top part of the buttons and also a little on the side. I like to do a little outline of the buttons in mahogany. And then we're going to move on to the blue in the marshmallows. So we're going to use light blue first. So we use a combination of light blue and sky blue for the blues in this drawing. And so we're going to start off with the light blue And we're going to start off with the smoke in the background. So this is where, you probably used pencil. So now you just want to lighten up the pencil by erasing it a little bit. You should still be able to see some of it. And then you're going to take your blue and start going very lightly around the tendrils, the outside of your smoke by tracing it very lightly with your light blue. So,
Isn't it technically steam?
yep, I
Not
said
smoke.
smoke, didn't I?
Yeah. I'd be nervous if it was smoke.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Okay.
steam. It's not smoke.
This is a smokeless atmosphere.
That's right.
Oh.
And so you're going to lightly add kind of like little shaded tendrils. Let me kind of show this up close. So here's the original. And I kind of wanted my steam to be a little more even in this one.
Mm.
So I'm adding strokes of the blue inside the steam. So I'm not coloring the entire steam part in blue, but I'm kind of using the colored pencil to kind of make it like tendrils, almost like hair. And you can even add, using some of that blue on top of the yellow to add more like other little kind of tendrils of steam. It's a really steamy hot cocoa. He's steaming.
The gingerbread man should not be smiling if it's that hot. His crown should be, oh.
Oh, I should have done, you know what?
Uh-oh.
I should have done his mouth like, oh.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hot.
What now?
You know what I just thought of? What was that? I just thought, remember, oh no, Mr. Bill. What was
Yeah,
that?
I know
Right.
Mr.
Yeah,
Bill.
Mr. Bill. He had that
What,
circle. And there's a
what was
gingerbread man running away from something. There's a story.
was on Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live.
Saturday Night Live? That's what it was. I was like, where was Mr. Bill from? Oh no, Mr. Bill. That's right.
That's like 1977.
Is it really?
It was a long time ago.
That's before I was born.
I love it.
I wish I could lie and say the same thing.
That's great. So we're also going to then pick up our sky blue for our marshmallows. So when you're finished with the light blue, you're going to pick up your sky blue and outline your marshmallows with the sky blue, and that's also going to be your shading. Again, we don't want blue marshmallows. This is just the darker part of the marshmallows, a little bit of shading. I mean, if you want blue marshmallows, they actually have those, and they have pink ones. So we're going to shade all of our marshmallows. So the ones in the cup, the ones to the left. And the right. We are going to add just a tiny bit of pink to them too. Here's the other marshmallow. I'm like, where's my other one? And we're also going to go to the cookies, and we're going to put our sky blue down and pick up our brown and outline our cookies. Oh, where'd my brown go? I think it rolled off. Oh, I have another one here, so. So we're going to lightly outline our cookies in brown, including the middle part where the icing is. And then we're going to lightly shade it, and we're going to be adding yellow to it as well. So first we're adding light shade of brown. So we're kind of doing it the opposite of how we did our gingerbread. We add yellow. After the brown. And I like to outline it at the bottom and make it a little bit more, darker. Around the cookies. And then we're also going to outline it in the sky blue on top of that. And then we color in our icing. And then using our black, we make it look like a snowflake on top of the icing. With some little round dots at the end of each snowflake line, like that. Dropped my set of pencils. And then we're going to put the black down because we are now going to grab our red to start with our final part, which is the cup and the saucer. So we're going to grab our regular red for now. And we are going to outline the cup and the saucer. Even all of the lines, the stripes. And we'll be going back later to actually add some of the blue as well. But for now, everything is outlined in red. And you can start with also making the, blocks of red at the top of the mug, and you can color those in. We're going to later go back and add the mahogany on one side of each of the striping. You can do the same thing with the stripes. You're also going to shade using the red around your the handle. Making it a little darker on the inside of the handle there. And we also want to do a little bit of shaded red underneath where the mug is on the saucer. And remember to go inside the mug on the left side and color that in too right here. But that's when we're going to start to use our mahogany. And the mahogany is going to be the stripe that is around the top. And the mahogany will also be on the left side of each of the blocks of red at the top. So just to make it a little bit darker, you can also do a little bit of the outline on the other side of the block. So we're just trying to make a little bit of a shadow on one side of each of the stripes. And you're going to do the same on the striping. I go on the left side.
So this
And
is mahogany?
Yep, this is mahogany. And you're going to make it darker underneath each of the stripes because the cup is turning. So it would be a bit darker. There'd be a bit of a shadow on it. And I do it again up at the top of the stripe as well. Because it would also be a little darker and then it would be a little bit lighter in the middle of the stripe.
Hmm.
And you can outline each stripe using the mahogany so that it's a little bit more crisp. And then adding a little bit of shading using the mahogany underneath the saucer on the side of the wooden table. When you're ready, you're going to grab blue, regular blue. And this is going to be your shading on top of the white of the saucer and also on top of the reds. So again, in the darkest part where you added the mahogany. So we're going to go back here inside the cup and we're going to add a little bit of that blue to make it darker back there inside. Oops, so I'm going to go really close. We're going to go on top of the red and outline.
What color blue is it?
This is regular blue. It just looks really dark. So this is our regular blue, not the sky blue, not the light blue. And so we're also going to trace around the entire mug, especially right against where he's sitting in his mug. So where we traced everything in red, we're now just going to go over it in blue. We're going to do the saucer too. The outline of the handle. So outlining everything in blue on top of the red. And now we're going to add a little bit of shading to each side of the red, but a real quick, like a real quick coloring on top of it. On the stripes too, again, where we just added the mahogany. And then you're probably going to add some shading with the blue on the left side of the cup and kind of right underneath where the striping, the block and the striping is. So you're going to add right underneath. And then little kind of stripes of it going in the opposite direction in the middle of it. But then as you get towards the end or bottom of the cup, you'll go a little darker. And on the saucer, little on the left and on the red and the rest of the saucer, just a little bit. So your darkest shading should kind of be on the left side of the cup, the bottom of the cup, and then a little bit on the right side. And you can grab your blue, and if you want to outline a little more of your marshmallows with this blue, you can. Just to give it a little more oomph. And the blue cookies, or the blue icing cookies, you can outline the icing part.
Blueberry
And-
Fun Fun.
Yeah, exactly. And just add a little bit of blue. And I can't wait to see these. So I'm going to stop the recording.